The psychology of the deal.
Now you can see.
Awesome. Wonderful. Okay, well, let's get started, guys. Thank you for coming and thank you for plugging in on Zoom. My name is Nabil Zayed, local real estate professional. 5 years in the industry, 13 years in real estate experience. By background, I was in corporate tech sales for about 2 decades. Worked as a director and VP of sales for telecommunications, digital marketing, security, and insurance. And today we are going to be talking about the psychology of the deal. So handling objections, conflict, tough conversations with buyers, sellers, investors, and other agents, in fact. Okay. So the slides, by the way, are just for you guys. I don't ever really use them. We'll send the presentation deck out if anybody really wants it, but more so focus on me. We're going to go over a lot on a high level. If there's anything specific that you want to dive deeper into, because we're going to keep this training within like 45, if there's anything specific that you want to dive deeper into, please let myself or let Vivi or Siobhan know, and we can always schedule that training at another time, another day. Okay, so, all right, so a couple of things that we're going to kind of go over. I'm going to just skip that. We'll just get right to it. Sorry, 1 second. The view's a little bad for me. That's much better. Okay. All right. So this business is a business of relationships. Yes, it is transactional. Yes, we are in sales. That is true. However, it's not a contract that's going to kill the deal. It is going to be conversations, right? So people will still make their decisions emotionally. It doesn't matter how logical somebody can think, they're still using emotions every single time. Think about when you go and have a showing, right? Actually, you had a perfect example. We were talking about this just yesterday or the other day. There's a buyer that she went to go take a look at a property, and she's just like, it doesn't feel like home. Yeah, feelings are gonna rule everything. So we have to be cognizant of those, right? So every deal includes fear, money pressure, ego, identity, and control issues. These are all tied into the 4 personality types that we're gonna go into in a little bit. And the agent who's managing these emotions is the one who's actually going to end up ruling, right? Because see, when you're working with different types of people, you have to understand there's going to be different types of emotions. There's going to be certain people who are very driven by desire and success, about winning the deal, about just getting their home sold and moved on. There's going to be people who are analytically thinking about, well, does this home fit within my drive range to work and to drop off and pick up my kids and to family and friends and to yoga, the gym, what have you. There's going to be people who are, carefully thinking like, well, how's this purchase going to be for me 5 years from now? How's the economy going to be? Is this going to be a good, worthwhile investment for me? So on and so forth. You're going to have so many different types of people. So it's super, super important that as time goes on, as you have these conversations, you're really understanding how to read people, because we can't operate the same way to different people, right? There has to be a change up in your conversation style, in your tone, your pitch, your voice, your body language, your facial expression. All that has to change slightly depending on who you're communicating with. So what is the winning agent mindset, right? Confidence is transferred, not announced. So even as a new agent, it is so important that you have that level of confidence that you know what you're doing. And sometimes it can be difficult, right? Sometimes it can be tough because you just got in. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to go. You don't know how to navigate. You don't know even how to say hi to somebody, right? Some things that I personally remembered in regards to having that level of confidence early on was, number one, more than likely this person doesn't know what I'm going to tell them. They probably don't know. If they know anything about real estate, they probably just understand buying, contract, commission, title, deed, that's it. But when we start having that conversation, if I'm talking to them about interest rates, they're asking me about that. They're asking me about finances. They're asking me about viability. They're asking me about area and location and how much properties are here and there, whatever. If a seller's asking me about, what's the best way to get their home sold? Do I need to renovate this? Do I need to do that? Should I paint? Should I stage? Blase, blase. They probably don't know. So I say that to say, as long as you have that level of confidence and you're able to communicate that clearly and effectively to whoever you're speaking with, it's transferred over to them as well. They can feel it. right? Energy is always transferred. Energy is always matched. So you got to make sure that yours is at a high level. Okay. And even high producing agents lose leverage when they go into different types of aspects, right? Over explaining can kill deals all the time. When you're justifying a situation, that can also kill deals. Speaking quickly under pressure or getting defensive as well. So when you're getting into some of these tough conversations, you always want to remember to have a cool head. Yes, sometimes people can say certain things and do certain things that might, strike a nerve, right? You might get a little bit upset. You might get a little bit emotional too. One of the best things, and let's say, for example, if it's on the phone, right? One of the best things that you can do when somebody gives you an objection, when somebody asks you a question, says something you don't know, it is completely okay to say, hey, you know what? That's a very good question. Let me get you the proper information to that. I'll get back to you on it. It is completely okay to do that. Matter of fact, one of the biggest things that we say in sales and negotiations is that when you're speaking with somebody, always have a glass of water, always have something to drink, because that little sip, whether it's in person or it's over the phone, that little sip breaks the transition as you're going in the conversation if you're stuck, and realigns your thought process and your mindset to get back on track, to the track that you want to be on, so that you're navigating and controlling that conversation. Let's see. And just an example, right? So in terms of talk tracks, in terms of confidence, you could say, I think we could maybe try. It's probably better to say, based on how the market is responding, here's the strongest move. So your word choice is going to be huge with each person that you speak to, right? I think maybe we can try. I'm not sure. This is a lack mindset. These are words and phrases that's not going to build confidence in somebody. It's going to discourage them because it's going to think that you don't know what you're doing, right? When you're initially speaking, this is me personally, when you're initially speaking with somebody, a buyer or a seller or investor, for example, yes, it's important to be definitive. You know what you're talking about. There should not be really much ifs, ands, or buts. This, I think we could try, maybe try. No. You should have that data backed. You should have those facts backed. You should have an understanding. They should be able to get that from you. What you say is basically law. Once you've had that relationship and that bond with somebody, then you can definitely ease up, because there's situations where that comes up. I had a client just yesterday that I met with. He has a rental property that we're listing in Herndon, and he was asking how much it would cost for paint for the whole home. He's trying to do a single coat. I know it needs at least a double coat, might even need a triple coat. So he's asking how much it is. I'm like, it could be maybe 25 on the low, maybe 35 on the high. I didn't give him exacts. I knew exactly how much it was going to be, 35. And that's exactly what my contractor texted me this morning. But I didn't tell him that. Why? Because they're money conscious. Because you want to give that little bit of hope as well, that maybe it could be a little bit less. People are, they're looking for that. You don't want to just, somebody says like, somebody says, yeah, I'm just waiting for interest rates to get back down to 3%. It doesn't matter what personality type. They could be direct, they could be amiable, they could be analytical. It doesn't matter what personality type. If I were to say to them, yeah, that's never going to happen again, I just lost that client. I just lost that person, because it's too direct. It's too much facts at that point, right? And they're just like, this guy doesn't care about me. People like to work with people they know, like, and trust. Right? Okay, so I kind of shared a little bit this as well, right? Authority is communicated in your tone, your pace, your clarity, your brevity. So this is where it gets super, super important, depending on who you're speaking with. Throughout this training, you guys will see my pace, my speed, my inflection, my tone, all shift as I'm conversing. It's really for emphasis, but that's a good understanding of how things need to adapt based on who you're speaking to and what you're speaking about. This is high level stuff, to be quite frank with you. It takes time, so take it like a grocery shopping method if it's a little bit overwhelming. Okay, perception drives trust, right? Most clients cannot evaluate your technical skill. Here's where it's huge. Here's where the biggest disconnect ends up happening. We know so much about the real estate industry because we've been in it for so long. Whether you've been in for a couple of years, 5, 6 years like me, licensed, or 20 plus years like Waleed, for example, or maybe even longer. I think we have some agents that have been around longer than that. We have a high level of understanding on the market, on property, on everything. But if a buyer or a seller can't see what you're saying, you've lost them. So you got to kind of bring that conversation down a little bit to them as well so that it can match their understanding. You ever heard the saying, kiss, keep it simple, stupid? Yeah. Everybody loves kisses, except for love, sorry. Wrong month, my bad. So they're evaluating all these aspects for you, right? They're evaluating, how composed you are. They're evaluating and checking to see, if you're panicking, they're going to as well. If you're calm, cool, collected, they're going to be as well. If you're keeping things simple, they'll keep things simple with you too. If you're going to be complex, they're going to be mentally complex and back away. Okay. Another thing, right? Especially on the aspect of if you're more of a newer agent, strategic agents don't do things alone. See, we have an entire brokerage, right? We have people that we can mastermind with. We have people who we can bounce ideas off of. We have people who we can communicate with. And you know what? I'll be perfectly honest with you. I understand and know that, of course, not everybody is able to connect and relate with everybody. So there's going to be buyers and sellers and investors that may not just work with you. Me and Shagova were talking about that just last night, is that who's meant for you is meant for you. That's absolutely true. Somebody might not be, right? But here's the thing. Within your sphere of influence in terms of who can assist you in a real estate transaction, utilize who you can utilize. Personally, I don't care. And I learned this from Waleed, is I don't need to like you, but if I can gain something from you, I will humbly close my mouth and I will listen and I will learn. I'll take whatever help that I can. And we do this all the time. Doa had a transaction with her mom, closed her property and bought a new home. I assisted with that. I know Mukarram's working with Farida on a transaction as well, helping with that. Me and Waleed do work all the time. I have a difficult agent. I just had a difficult agent, matter of fact, Mr. Ash. And Waleed was a tremendous help in getting over that hump. Honestly, I'll be quite frank, he didn't do anything that I didn't do or that I couldn't do. He was just persistent in reaching out to the individual. But I was just like, man, this guy's annoying. I can't get a hold of him. I can't tell him what our offer is. We can't get an extension. So it wasn't like he did anything more, but the support that's there is tremendous. And sometimes we need that. So don't think that you're alone. Right? Often we do that. It happens. Even with the brokerage that's so warm and inviting and welcoming as RE/MAX Galaxy, it happens where we think, oh man, I got to deal with this alone. Absolutely not. You got a difficult client, text me, call me, tell me about it. Let's get on a 3-way phone call with them and let's do this together. Whatever we can do to help you guys succeed, we will do it to succeed. Sometimes you got to play good cop, bad cop. Matter of fact, I had that with an agent one time. We were working on a deal together. I had to be bad cop. I'm very good at being bad cop. I don't like being bad cop. I'm very good at being bad cop. I had to tell this client that, yo, you're never gonna get a house. If you don't fix your credit, if you don't stop overspending, if you don't stop wasting away money, you're never gonna get this house. You're not gonna get a house at all. Well, they listened. They never spoke to me again, but they listened. But the transaction was done. And we did what we needed to do. And then the wife was appreciative about 6 months later and gave me a referral on a buyer. So that was a risk, but we're here to help and assist where need be, okay? All right, elite performers, you're running strategies. You're consulting with your coaches, your mentors, you're pressure testing your negotiation approaches. You're thinking about these things, right? It should always be on the front of your mind. Prior preparation plans for poor performance, right? Prevents poor performance, actually. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. So if you're navigating through conversations that you're having with buyers, with sellers, with agents, if you're thinking about it, if you're looking through the different potential aspects, right? You're preparing yourself as to what could potentially come, right? That's important, because the last thing you want to do is engage in a conversation with a buyer and they hit you with something that's just completely unexpected. It takes you back, because sometimes that happens, and sometimes we may not know how to handle the response, or we may not handle it as best as we can. But if you're constantly thinking about your business, if you're constantly thinking about your objection and you're thinking about how to deal with this call that's going to come up, how to deal with this listing appointment that's going to come up, you're better preparing yourself. Okay? Ego isolates, strategy collaborates. So you're gaining credibility, kind of same thing. Okay. Emotional regulation under pressure. So here's where you're kind of adjusting your communication style and your presentation style as you're going through, right? Intense situations. Nobody wants to have high volume conversations. Somebody is yelling and screaming at you. Of course, you don't want to do it back. Somebody is in a stressful situation. You don't want to look like you're eager and like ready to give advice and ready to give help. You ever heard that saying of ask first, if somebody wants advice or if they just want an open ear, this is where that plays in, right? So you have to get into that frame of mind of, how do I lower this stress and this pressure situation, right? Lowering your voice helps, slowing your pace helps, pausing, giving some time. People, when they have conversations, they're just da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. No, you don't need to do all that. I remember I had a mentor a while back. This individual would not respond for like a solid 5 seconds. At least 5 seconds. You say something to him, or you ask him a question, and he's just pause. Yeah, well, actually, like, he's straight pause. It was the weirdest thing to me in the beginning, but be okay with silence, because sometimes it helps. Sometimes it helps for them to kind of say whatever they've said. They've yelled, they've argued, they've screamed, blah, blah, blah. Now they're cool. They've had those 3, 4, 5 seconds or whatever, they're cool down, and now you can respond back. The mind is not in fight or flight mode at that point once they've had that pause. So now you can actually respond back with clarity. Okay, now that we understand how mindset shapes, leverage, okay. 4 personality types, let's get into it. So you have number 1, the analytical, right? They need data. They're going to run through every possibility of, should I, I work in Alexandria, should I buy in Woodbridge? My commute would probably be maybe 35 to 45 minutes with traffic. It's going to be a lot cheaper for me, but I also love going out to Arlington. So if I were to buy in Springfield or within Alexandria itself, then I could be closer to where I'd like to hang out and associate, but that's going to be a $200,000 increase. I don't know what that's going to be like. I don't know if rates might come down into the 4s in another 3 years. They're thinking all the time. Their minds on clockwork is just going. They're very aware of what risks are involved. You have to come to these individuals with facts. You have to come to these individuals with actual proven example, proven methods. So when you have a seller who is thinking that their home is going to sell very quickly, yet all the comps are showing 37 days on market is the average time frame, and the shortest time frame in that neighborhood has been 17 days, show them the facts, show them the numbers, right? When you have a buyer who thinks that rates are going to come down into the 3 percentile, show them the track record. Bright MLS has that. You can go back 40 years and you can see the trajectory of where rates have gone and where they dropped. Show them the facts, right? Show them all that information. I was going to actually ask you guys, and those who are on WhatsApp in the chat, feel free to send me objections that you get typically that you would like to know how to handle or that you're unsure about how to handle. And then I'll ask you guys as well too. Okay, let's go to the next. All right, the driver. This one is very dominant. This one is very, sorry, 1 second. I think people are trying to get on. My bad.
And the driver sounds like me, man.
You are a driver, 100%.
Impatient.
There we go. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. I think we had some people disconnected. Yes, so the driver, right? Very results focused, very direct. They're straight shooters. They don't want fluff. I'm a driver. I don't want fluff. You just give it to me straight. You think that you're going to hurt their feelings, and oftentimes people do this, right? People avoid conflict like the plague. In general, people just can't handle it. How difficult is it for somebody to tell you no? A friend, a family member, a coworker. How difficult is it for you to say no? We avoid conflict like no tomorrow, and we can't. You have to take it. You have to handle it head on, maybe soft blows, but you have to handle it. And so with drivers, they don't want any of that. They just bottom line, get to the point. We're dealing with a lot of sellers and investors lately, and we're looking for cash offers and things. They just want the bottom line. How much are you offering? These are individuals where you do have to be concise, but you also got to give a little sprinkle of mystery. Because these are people who think they know it all. These are people who think they got it all down packed. But when you share something with them that might trigger their thought or their mind, like, Wait, what? Tell me about that. They want to know because they don't know, because they think they know everything, right? Your biggest focus for these individuals is going to be results. That's what they want to know, right? Buyers who are drivers, they just want to know results. Okay, what type of property can I get for this pre-approval amount? How much is that monthly payment going to be? Da, 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 da. Sellers want to know, how much am I going to sell? How much are you charging commission? How long is this going to take? I don't want to do any work, blah, blah, blah. What can I get, right? So you have to be in that sort of position as well where you're being very direct and you're allowing them to control the conversation. But by doing so, you're actually in control. All right, let's see. We have, the expressive. Expressive individuals are the ones who are all over the place. They're very excited about taking action. By being very excited by taking action, they overthink and they overwhelm themselves a little bit to where it's inaction. So the buyer who wants to buy a house, reaches out, they're ready to go, they're super excited. 3 weeks go by, your lender's like, hey man, I don't know what happened to this person. They never submitted their docs. Yeah. The seller who wants to sell, who's excited about this job change and moving to, warmer climate, Florida, California, whatever. And then you don't hear from them for a month. Like, oh yeah, I didn't get the job. Okay, all right. So these are individuals who are emotional. You got to match their emotion. You have to meet with them there, right? You have to talk to them about that dream, what it looks like when the home is sold and when they've moved on to the next chapter of their life. What does their new home look like? What does their lifestyle look like? What does their activities look like, right? You gotta look at some of these things. You have to always validate their feelings. They will be wrong so many times. You always have to validate their feelings because here's the thing. I don't care about being wrong or right. I care that we have a healthy relationship and a good connection and that you trust me. My loyalty has no bounds. And when you see that from me, I want to make sure that I get that from you too, but I also have to do the work to keep it and maintain it as well. And that's what it mainly is with expressive people. See, if they feel like you're not going to pressure them into certain things, if they feel like you got their back, if they feel like you got their back, that you're in their corner, they're with you. They're totally loyal. Drivers are going to go to the individual who gets stuff done. Expressives are going to go to the ones that have the strongest connection. So for all you guys who are very, very heavy on relationships and friendships and connections and blase in real estate, I have my own opinion about that. I think that's a strong aspect, but you also got to be very solid in sales. That's me. Those of you who are like that, look for expressives. Those are going to be your bread and butter, and those are going to be the ones that you're going to build a lot of business from. Me, 80% of my clients are drivers, as you can tell. Amiable, okay? Amiables avoid conflict, like no tomorrow. These are individuals who constantly need to be reassured. They need to make sure that the decision they're making is correct. These are going to be the people who are going to double think on that property once they're already under contract. So buyer's remorse, that comes mainly from amiable people. Sellers also, same situation. Those are the ones who are they want to, right? They want to get their property, they want to list it, they want to get sold, but they're also going to be super, super cautious about everything. They're going to be detail oriented. They're going to want to make sure that the home is pristine and good. It's all updated, it's painted, everything is good and this and that. But then if you're doing that and your value of your house is $550 and you're expecting $600, well, we got to talk about some things. Maybe this doesn't need to be done. Maybe this work doesn't have to be done. We don't need to make money, lose money. These are individuals where you got to be super calm, super cool, super collected. You have to be really laid back. These are the ones that love Waleed. Quite frankly, that's his type, man. I do better with drivers than he does. But they need people who are gentle, right? Think motherly touch. That's amiable. Okay. And then miscommunication happens when you speak your style instead of theirs. Okay. What time are we at? 12:30. Let's do some role plays with some of these individuals. So, who wants to start? Who wants to be the first victim? I'm just kidding. Okay, awesome. Perfect. Sorry. Remind me your name again. Murfet? Murfet. I knew that. I thought I was right. Okay. So, Murfet, what is an objection that you find difficulty in handling from time to time?
I think working with the buyer when they just want to see 100 homes and like they keep moving from one to another. So me personally, like I used to go everywhere, show homes, and then I just sit. I will say like when I have a meeting with the buyer, I told them that we're gonna like move and see maybe 8 homes, because after 5 to 6 homes, most buyers they make their decision. And I know that even if the approval letter 700, 800,000, I just try to, because sometimes they said, no, it's far from my home and the wife is working here. So before even showing homes, I ask them to just put the homes in the GPS, not only the budget or whatever. So working with buyers is a little bit hard. So me personally, I used to show homes everywhere, but after I just set my own thing to deal with them, I was able to be in control more. So just let them know this is the house based on budget, family needs, if the school system is working. Sometimes they ask you how's the crime rate here, how is the neighbor. So I just start like giving them the website, how the school system, because I'm not allowed to disclose anything. Go to school website, greatschool.com or whatever. So I was like handling things different, but after I start like creating my own thing, I was able to be in control more and handle more buyers than I used to be before.
Very good.
So,
Guys on Zoom, anybody, unmic, out of the 4 personality types, which personality type is Murfet? Is she?
I think I didn't hear her too much. I was stuck to be anyone else, you guys.
Is she analytical? Is she driver? Is she expressive? Is she amiable? Which one? Ebenezer? Esther? Amal? Molly?
Molly, what do you think?
I couldn't hear very well.
Well, yeah, we couldn't hear
so
very
far.
well. Yes.
You couldn't?
Maybe I can hear well.
And one
Okay.
question.
We'll get to questions. We'll get to questions in. We'll get to questions in a little bit.
No, not question. The last personality, I didn't get it very well. I didn't look. It was very fast. This one, okay. Which one is this?
Amiable.
Voice correction tone. Oh, okay.
Okay. Noah, what personality type do you think she is?
I didn't hear her very well.
You think driver? That's
Take care of my things. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay. No worries. So guys, you got to speak up a little bit. You think she's a driver? Shugova, what do you think? You think driver? Vivi, what do you think?
I think she's a mix of the driver and the amiable.
Driver and amiable. Okay. She's an expressive. You know why she's an expressive? The question that I asked was, what is an objection that you normally get that you want to handle better? She went on into full length and detail for the objection and how she handles it. I didn't ask all that. I just asked, what's the objection that you get? Because we're going to role play. That's an expressive. Now, what did I do? I sat back and I listened. I didn't say a single word. You never say a single word on an expressive. You never interrupt. You just let them talk. They love you when you just sit and listen. This will help you guys in your friendships too, by the way. Hi, Marfet. So did you have any, I know we saw 4 properties over the weekend. Was anyone of interest to you? Did you like any of the ones that you seen?
yeah, I think I like the one in Warrington. Is like I would say like check mark most of what I'm looking for, but the issue is it's not closer to where my husband work. So this is going to be an issue.
Okay. So not closer to where your husband works. Where does your husband work?
In Fairfax.
Your husband works in Fairfax. Okay, so Warrington to Fairfax is where, by Fair Lakes or by Fairfax downtown, close to Mason? What part?
Yeah, close to Mason.
Close to Mason. Okay. So Warrington, whoosh. I don't talk this way, but I talk this way with an expressive. Poof. Okay, so Warrington to Fairfax, that's going to be like maybe 40, 45 minutes. And that's not even with traffic, huh?
Yes.
Why are we looking at Warrington?
Because based on my budget, because if I want to buy a house that I'm looking for, I'm not going to be able to afford in Fairfax, but the budget is going to take me toward countryside, with Warrington or Belton or this area, so I'm going to be able to buy a house there. If I'm trying to buy using the same budget, I'm not going to be able to afford the single family home that I want to buy versus condo or townhouse.
Okay. Yeah, that's a difficult situation. Okay. So the budget that you have fits in Warrenton. Does the budget that you have fit anywhere else?
No, I didn't think so.
No?
If it's Fairfax, Loudoun County is not going to fit.
Yeah, Fairfax Loudoun County may not work, but other areas in Prince William might. I mean, the same price point that's there in Warrenton is in Manassas. It's also in Woodbridge. These are a little bit of shorter drives as well. Have you thought about those? Because I know we haven't seen any properties there yet.
To be honest, like my husband doesn't really like Prince William County because like we heard about like it depends of the area where you live. So this is like because of the school system. So the school system there is better than Prince William County. Either if I have to settle, it's going to be also townhouse, but it's not going to be where is the school system is good for my kids.
Okay, so so there's a lot of moving pieces here, right? So we have distance for your husband from home to work, and then good school systems fitting within that budget. So was there, I'm not too familiar with the school systems in Warrenton, but do those fit? Do they have good schools? That would have been a good fit for your kids?
Yes.
Okay. And the home was great, price was great, it's within budget. I guess now you and your husband have to decide, is he willing to commute from there to his work? Because everything else seems to be a fit. See, if it's not that house, it can be another house, but it's still in Warrenton. So the one difficult thing is still going to be the commute. So what do we do about the commute?
So I didn't think like he's willing to, as you said, it's 45 minutes without traffic, and he's a bus driver, so he need to take a trip a couple times.
Right. So what can we do about the commute?
I didn't think we have option for the commute for now, except if try to convince him to buy the house and drive.
I think we should have a conversation with him. I mean, he's not here. I think we should have a conversation with them and then really understand, because here's the thing. You want a good school system, so we know those are in certain areas, and there are certain areas that you don't want to be in, even though you can afford it. Those certain areas that don't have good school systems may be a slower or a smaller drive for him for work, but you don't want to be there. Those areas that do have good school systems, it's out of your budget, even if it is closer to his work. So it seems like Warrenton Bilton is going to have to be the area. I think he's just going to have to, I hate to say it, I think he's just going to have to bite the bullet and take that commute.
And this is what exactly I've done like 2014 when I bought my house with Walid. Yes,
Did I do it the same way?
Yes, same way. He was working over there, and then he's like, and the school system, because most majority in this Fakir County is like, you're going to find 95% is white, and my kids did the mixed color, and was like relatable for them. And the school, it was good, but it wasn't really where it has to be. In Loudoun County, Fairfax County. So I told them, it's not about the school. You guys are smart and you can study. It's not about, I know, like, I don't go with gradeschool.com because this is based on the parent review. So if one of the parent has an issue at the school, she go to gradeschool.com, she put the review. So it doesn't have to go through the website and read the review. I believe all the time is from home. So my husband was like refusing, but I told him, you need to drive because I'm not going to be able to afford the same house where I live. I used to live in Chantilly. So I ended up buying the house, single family home in Fakir County. And my kids, they end up going higher education, and whatever having was good for us overall. So I know the budget was small, but at the same time, sometimes I try to not convince people, but try to explain about the education, commute, everything else. So they end up agree, saying, okay, my husband can drive, or the wife in the processing of switching job or whatever. So there's other ways to convince people, but just put the word in their mouths and let them give you the answer.
That's pretty much what you do with an expressive. I didn't give her an answer. I just asked the questions and let them think. They have to run through that process. Expressives have to run through that mental process and they need to come to the understanding. They're going to go every which way around the sun, the moon, the stars, and everything, and then come to the understanding, which they probably already knew beforehand, but they just needed to see all the different options. They love options, but let them come up with the options. You can give a couple here and there, but let them decide on which one is the right one, right? Cool. Okay, Dua, what's an objection that you normally get that you have difficulty handling?
So when working with couple, they usually, if I have two different personalities, the objections from one of them, if one of the spouse is okay with that objection, they'll like ease it down and they'll put that on me. Like, can you convince them? Can you tell him this is better? Can you ask him to skip on this home? I think the lack of their communication is just, I faced with two couples that it was hard handling both of them. That was...
Okay. I wasn't expecting a couple of situations today.
So,
that's okay. Okay, we're gonna make this work. All right, Musa, you're the husband. Dua, you're the wife. Okay. What is the example of the
I hate this
objection?
home. I don't want this home.
Oh, on buyers, or we're doing buyers?
Here,
Okay.
I'm not moving in here.
Okay. That's your objection?
You gotta be exactly opposite of what I say. I love this home. I'm gonna fix this home. We're gonna make this work. Just trust me. He's the agent, and I'll be reaching out to him.
Yeah, it's fine, but I don't think so. Yeah, I really don't like.
And what's the objection? We couldn't hear it.
Sorry. Okay. So the so couples who are not on the same page. One guy loves the home, or one person loves the home, and the other person does not love the home. One party thinks that they can put in $20,000 worth of work, and the other party says, "No, I don't want to do that." Just couples who are not on the same page. Okay. All right. So let's do that. So still buyer objection. Okay, great. So Musa, though, how'd you guys like the property? What'd you think?
I really don't like the area, and I don't think so. I don't love it.
Okay.
I think this is great. We can move in here. I can see myself living here. I don't know what he's talking about.
If you guys can see her face right now, it's
She can
hilarious.
move alone then.
That's
Don't break character. Okay. So it's not for you, and you love it.
yeah, it's great. Like,
Okay.
why can't we move in here?
You want to know what's funny, guys? You know this is the fourth time this has happened since we've been working together.
The what?
Did you know that? You didn't know?
You didn't say anything.
I said this is the fourth time that this has happened since we've been working together.
Oh, you're asking this?
Yeah.
You guys have.
Yeah. This is the fourth time since we've been looking at properties that this has happened.
I know. I keep telling him what I want, and he thinks he can fix a home, and he's not. He doesn't work in construction. Like you.
That's hilarious.
You can't paint.
Do you suck at painting? It's not hard.
Yeah, but it's her choice. I don't know. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
So if she likes the house, do you want to submit an offer?
I want to. Do you want to?
Yeah, might be.
You gotta go no for like
You gotta
10
go
times.
for the yes.
Or no.
You gotta roll the die.
I like a person who's close with everything.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, at some points of these, and honestly, that's what worked for me. I had to get a 5 minutes with each person alone, and sort of after understanding. So the two couples I had, one of them the husband was a driver. The second one, the husband was expressive. Both cases, the wife was very enviable. They were just all over the place. So I had to but then I was scared that one of the spouses would think I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Trying to manipulate the situation?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's continue on that. Okay, so though you love the home, mostly you don't like the home. It's not for you. Okay, so guys, see, my job is super simple. I make sure you guys get the best deal and the best home for you, period. That's it. If this isn't it, okay. But if this is it, Okay? See, this is where I have to take a back seat. I have to step back, right? You guys really need to get on the same page. You know, we're gonna find the right home. That I promise you. We'll find the right home. And if this one isn't it, that's totally okay. We'll go and look at other properties. But I think it's super important that you guys have an understanding of why this is the right home and why this isn't the right home. See, if you love the kitchen and the aesthetics, great. Take note of that as we start looking around at other properties, right? Take note of that. Like, this is the kitchen style, right? That you like, right? If you loved the open layout, great. Take note of that. But if you didn't like the bathroom size, take note of that too, right? We want to make sure that you are getting the right home. See, like I told you guys in the beginning, I fully believe you can get any home that you possibly could want as long as you're willing to pay for it. It's the truth, right? There's going to be areas that we're going to need to adjust based on budget, location, school, proximity to work and things like that, right? Obviously, we've been looking, we've seen a few homes now. So there's gonna be certain things that we are gonna need to adjust a little bit. And then there's gonna be certain things that you're definitely gonna have to compromise on, especially because you have a certain style of a home that you like and you have a certain style of a home that you like. But that's where you guys gotta have that conversation. You gotta get on the same page. See, for me, it's fine. I'll tell you what, for me, it's great. I take videos, it's good for me, it's social media. I get to see a whole bunch of other properties. This is what I love doing anyway, so no harm for me. But I don't want you guys to have to keep having to take off of work or leaving the kids with babysitters or with family, driving miles, spending time. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of gas. I want to help you guys find the right home, but I want to make sure that we are finding the right home, not just a home that you love or a home that you love. Do you think you guys can maybe have that conversation today and let's touch base again tomorrow and see what we come to an understanding to?
Sure.
Definitely.
I'm so.
Yeah.
Me too.
See, sometimes you got to play dad or mom, with those difficult situations. And I've had them with couples, I've had them with siblings. And you need a mediator. We're everything. You're in sales. You're everything. You're a consultant. You're a coach. You're a therapist. You're an accountant. You're in finance. You're a banker. You're everything. You're a contractor. You're everything, man. So if you got to be, you got to be sometimes. Was that good?
Yeah.
No? Okay. Shagufa, what objection do you normally have difficulty dealing with? I know what your answer is with mine.
What? No, wait, what is it? You tell me.
Hey, listen, I've got a great agent for you. I'm gonna get you connected.
Oh yeah, we.
All right, let's go with sellers.
So
What's an objection that you find difficult, or that you had a situation with in the past and you didn't really know how to navigate best?
Oh God, reality, and what they want.
I have one.
Okay, I'll get to you right after. Perfect. Hold on tight to that one. Reality and what?
And what they actually want.
Oh, you mean sellers who want to sell for a high price and what it
Are
could
we
actually
talking
go
about
for?
buyers or sellers?
Whichever you prefer.
Either. Which one do you want me to do? I mean,
Okay, let's go with sellers. We did a couple buyers, so let's do sellers. So reality and then what they actually want.
with sellers. Their emotions. Their emotions.
Oh, handling emotions.
Their emotion, attaching their emotion to the
To the house?
transaction.
Okay.
Yeah, that's usually the biggest challenge that I face
Before listing, under contract,
the whole time.
the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm dealing with one now.
Okay. Okay. All right, cool. Let's run with that. Let's run with that on a listing appointment. Just from the beginning. So you're the seller, I'm the agent.
I'm the seller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Shagufa, thank you so much for giving me a tour of the house. Let's sit down. Let's have a quick conversation. So, what's getting you wanting to sell in the first place? I don't think I ever asked you that when we spoke on the phone initially.
We've just been in this house too long, and it's time for a change.
Okay. And what does that change mean for you?
Just a new area and a new house.
Okay. Your home is in Fairfax. Are you planning on sticking around in Virginia or in the DMV? Are you guys moving out?
We're gonna rent for now, and we'll figure that out later.
But you're gonna rent locally.
Locally.
Okay, so you're gonna rent locally and figure out what you want to do next. So, is there anything that's holding you back from selling, getting into a rental? Do we have a construct of time frame, or are you guys pretty much just ready to go?
With the right offer right away.
Sure. But you're ready to list and sell. Like there's nothing kind of, the home looks great, everything looks fine. Okay, wonderful. Well, look, where's the emotion?
My home is worth a certain number in my head. I've put in, and I don't want to go below that number.
Okay.
So I need a specific buyer for this home with the number I have in mind.
Okay.
Otherwise, I won't sell.
Got you. Okay.
Because I put a lot of love into this house, and I need the buyer to be able to see the love I've put in.
No, I can see that. I can see that. I didn't mention this when we were going through the walkthrough, but when I was looking.
I'm dealing with one right now. Like.
I didn't mention this when I was going through the walkthrough, but when I was looking through the kitchen, just the accents and the fine detail that you put in to the color points, the cabinets, the handle, I could tell. I was like, man, if this is what you did with your home, I'm just curious to see what you did with your work life.
Yeah, I put love into everything I do, and I'm not selling a home. I want someone to appreciate what I've done. So the number is reflective of the love I've put in the home.
I feel that. What do you do for work again?
I'm a doctor.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. What kind? Like kids doctor, surgeon, what?
What are we gonna be? We're pediatrician.
Pediatrician. Okay. Do you I know right now we got like the whole flu season and everything going on. Have you had like a lot of kids coming in to your office and
get a handful?
Yeah, getting flu season and whatnot. That's for me, honestly. I obviously being Pakistani, that's one of the roles that my parents tried to push me into. It was either that, lawyer, engineer, IT. I just could never do it. And here's the reason why. I hate seeing people sick. You know, I can't detach. And I know that's a big thing that you have to do.
Right.
You have to detach. You have to be able to have that heart to diagnose, give the proper medication, because you're not just dealing with the child, but you're also dealing with their parents too. It's not like dealing with an adult, right? So you have to get that emotion, but you also have to detach because guess what? You got a whole office full of other sick kids that you got to get to too. How do you do that?
I don't know, because that's the part of the job.
You kind of just figured
I trained
out?
myself to do it. I just can't do it with my house though.
You trained yourself to do that? Yeah. Yes. And I know, I get it. It's a very difficult thing because you put in blood, sweat, tears, sweat equity into this house, right? You curated the entire home to the design that you saw in your head. And you want for the person who's gonna take this home to treat it with the same care, to first see the value of it the same way, and then also treat it the same way.
Right.
Once that kid leaves your home with medication, right? How are you able to prevent them from getting into a mud wrestling match with another kid and getting sick all over again?
You can't.
You can't. So it's the buyer who purchases your house, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We can't do anything about it, right?
Right.
Here's the other situation with that too. We have to look at this from a high level view. And it's okay. We can go either way. Where you want to sell your home at, the market isn't giving those numbers. And I think deep down you might know that. I don't want to overstep, but I think you might know that because you're a very intelligent person. And obviously, well, no, one, you wouldn't ask me to come over and take a look at the house if you weren't intelligent because I know what I'm doing. But I kid. You're a very intelligent person. But I think you also understand that the market gives what the market gives. Now, yes, finding an individual unique buyer for this home, is it possible? Sure. But then again, we have the saying that anything's possible.
Right.
See, we're just way past that margin basis. And I can look through my database and we can do this from an off-market approach. I can market this property within my sphere, within people that I know, externally too, sure. The thing is, if I put this out on the open market at that price point, I'd be very shocked if you even had any showings. Only because people know that it's way higher. There isn't any other comp nearly around the area that's come to it. Granted, this is essentially custom. It's nothing like anything else in the neighborhood. I know that, you know that. The problem is trying to convey that to people in an era of data. In the technological era, everything is at the palm of your fingertips. They can pull all information and numbers and so on and so forth. And when they see that other properties don't match up, well, there's nothing that I nor you can do to that in terms of having them submitting an offer and buying the house.
Yeah, makes sense.
So let me ask you, would it be the end of the world to keep your home if you don't get that price?
No,
Okay.
no.
We've seen how values have risen. We've seen how they've grown. And of course, it'll continue to do so. I don't want to put a damper on your plans of moving and getting another home. But I think we've got to come to the idea of, hey, either you're getting a price that's not too much lower, but lower than maybe what you were hoping for and expecting to then move to the next chapter of your life, or hold and wait it out and see what can happen within the next year or two. We are expecting rates to drop too. That can increase buying power, and it could potentially also increase the value of your home and what it could sell for. But hey, worst case scenario, you're living in a beautiful home that you created yourself. What's the bad in that?
Right. So yeah, keeping it is not the end of the world.
Why don't you take some time to think about it? Let's hop on a conversation another day or two, and we can decide which route you would like to go.
Sounds like a plan.
I will never lose her. That trust is built. Validate her, understanding that, yeah, I mean, you have a custom home, you put in a lot of work into this house and upgrading it and renovating it and creating it the way that you want it to. And you have a value point to it. But the thing is with the seller, it's like your perception of what the value of the home is versus what the buyer's is may not match up, and rarely does it actually. So that's where you got to understand. See, I could have gone at this different ways, right? I could have pushed on the actual comp's price. I could have navigated towards that, but it's risky. I would have lost her. See, one of the biggest reasons why we lose a lot of business is because we're desperate and we come off desperate. Think in abundance. Don't think in lack. It's okay. If it doesn't list right now, that's okay. Maybe 6 months from now, maybe a year from now. But I wanna have that trust with them, right? I wanna be able to have that level of trust and that bond that I got your back, and I wanna make sure we do what's best for you. You really want this price? Cool. Might not happen right now. That's okay. Let's let it happen. Let's see. Let's give it some time. 3 months, 6 months is not gonna kill anything. It's not gonna kill any plans. It's fine. They're willing to understand and bring down. Great. Let's get to work. Let's get your home sold. Let's move you on to the next chapter of your life. Let me be a part of it.
And I will say, I just sold my house recently, or my condo, and I went through this personally, saw it from the other side. It's my first place I sold. I was emotional. And I had put in a lot into my unit. Like, it was probably the best one in the building. But the emotions I was attaching, I was like, whoa. And I'm in the industry. I had to detach. I'm like, girlfriend, it doesn't matter what you've put in. The buyers don't care. All they care is about the market. That was very, very, I will never represent myself again. Ever. Because no matter how good you are, the emotions kick in. I cried when the appraisal came in. I cried when inspection report came in. I cried.
But now you use that to relate to your
Oh yeah. Yeah, this helped me. I still won't represent myself again.
Yep. And that's one of the biggest things, guys. And thank you, Shigo, for saying that. The stories that you have are so empowering when having conversations with people. And it may not be your stories. Use other people's stories. That's why it's so important to connect with other agents. Talk with each other on the chat, individually, one-on-one. We have an entire brokerage of people who does transactions. What do we do? Like 240 million a year in sales? We got a lot of transactions under our belt. We have a lot of stories as well. Take advantage of those. Nobody needs to know. No seller needs to know that was yours, or say, well, an agent of mine was just dealing with this same blah, blah, blah situation. But take that to your advantage, because, see, why do we stage homes? Why do we stage homes? Emotional connection, first impression. Why do you think we stage homes?
So they can picture
To give the buyer a new look, different expectation. So he will imagine himself in that house with
Absolutely.
this furniture.
Absolutely. You imagine yourself in your home, you picture yourself in your home. We see pictures. So when you have stories to tell people, they're seeing through their mind's eye and trying to experience and empathize the same situation, how it connects and attaches to their individual situation. Cool. So, okay, Amal, you said you had one. I want to, since you said if you still want to, I can do one more and then we can move forward.
It's like almost the same. Always the seller wanted the highest price.
Okay, so similar to Shagufas. Okay. We'll if people want, of course, we'll do a deeper dive. Obviously, time concern can't really go into too much different types of conversations, but I hope the personality types helps you guys understand how to navigate amongst different people that you're speaking to. So we'll add a little bit more details here. The 5-step objection framework, right? This is general for anybody that you're speaking with. First, when somebody handles or gives you an objection or rejection, so on and so forth, pause, right? Take a sit back, pause, acknowledge it. Because here's the thing, you don't want to butt heads with anybody. You always want to be agreeable. So you always want to acknowledge and be agreeable and empathize with them, right? And then you're clarifying. So when you're reiterating the objection back, okay, so Fred, if I understand correctly, you want to be within a close proximity of where your home is to where your work is. You also want to make sure that it's in a good school district and it fits within your budget. Do I have that right? You want to clarify and reiterate it and then reframe it so we can do that, right? We're able to find you the home. We're able to find you the right home for you. We're able to find the home within the right school districts as well. And we can work to making that commute shorter, but we have to look at what's most important. Reframe, okay? And then close softly. Would it be too difficult, do you think, if your husband just had a little bit of a longer commute than you wanted? Maybe it wasn't 30 minutes, but it ends up being 40, maybe 45. Do you think that could potentially work? Close softly, right? 5-step framework. Okay, we've gone through a few of these objections. And a lot of these I'm going to have to go into a later time because we are running behind. Yeah.
Or an objection.
Yeah.
How do I handle lowballers?
Lowball offers?
Side. On buyer side.
You're representing the buyer?
Yeah.
Oh, girl, I can give you a class on that in 2 seconds.
You're representing, okay. All right.
Those.
Share with them the data before even.
I do.
Here we go.
See it, and
We'll
then
do
understand.
both of these then. So submitting an offer. So here's an objection. Submitting an offer. The offer is a lowball offer. We'll do buyer and agent, and then we'll do agents and agents. Okay. All right. So give me numbers.
The house is listed for 480. Let's put 420 and see what they think.
Lovely. Okay. So mind you guys also, a lot of these objections is really based on what kind of relationship you already have with this person too, right? If it's new and it's fresh, it's got to be navigated, pretty smoothly. You gotta feel like there's a little bit of eggshells that are there. If you have a bond and relationship with them too, okay, operate just as you would based on their personality type. Tell it to them how it is. Okay. All right, the home looks great. You wanted to submit an offer, right? You texted me? Okay, wonderful. So what are we, have you thought about it at all? Do you want to go over numbers, comps?
It's great. Yeah, with the comps, but I think the market is slow now and it's been sitting on the market for like 28 days. So I'm gonna give them 420. I don't think anyone else would buy this home at this point. So
Okay.
let's try 420 and see what they think.
Okay, I want to touch on a couple points here real quick, if you don't mind. Why do you think the market is slowing down?
Well, we've been seeing these homes over and over. This house, remember we saw, like was on the list 2 weeks ago and we didn't get to see it and it's still on the market and we want to see it. Like it's been there for, I don't know, a month, and I think it could sit another month. They should be happy they're getting an offer.
I will tell you this.
When they go.
When I'm on the seller side, I am happy anytime an offer comes in, because it tells me that somebody wants to buy the house, right? Now, if it was multiple interested parties that were here, and there were a multiple offer situation that was going on, but we got the house for 480. Would you want it then?
No, I don't think it's worth 480. I wouldn't buy it.
Okay.
We'll look for something else in that price range. We'll try to bring it down to
Okay.
6 months of this, I swear.
Okay. We definitely want to find a good deal, right?
Yeah.
But here's something that we got to look at also. It's completely okay to put a less offer here. But what's going to happen is this. When we're going down that low, you're very much going to get a no. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but we can try. I mean, there's no harm.
Sure.
Yeah, let's try it.
Sure.
See.
I can submit an offer at 420. But I'm going to tell you it's going to be a no. And if it is a no, what do we do at the next property? Do we do it again? Do we submit another lower offer?
Yeah, maybe those other people are more desperate, or they'll accept it. You never know.
We're just throwing things around and just seeing what's going to happen, throwing mud against the wall?
I'm not in a hurry. I still have a place to live, so
Yep.
I'm gonna try and see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, that's a great position to be in, right? The fact that you're not in a pressure situation, you have your home, we're trying to find good deals and this and that. So here's what I'm going to do, right? Here's what we're going to do instead. I'm going to put this offer to them, to the agent. I'm going to tell them that this is what it is. And I'm going to have you see exactly what it is that the text says so that you understand and know, right? I don't want you wasting your time. I really don't. I know you're finding a new home. It's not a stressful thing, and we want to find a good deal. And we can. Maybe an off market might end up working out a little bit better for you versus what's available on market. But the difficulty is this, is if I was even able to get this property for 60,000 less, from 480 to 420, or anyone in a similar kind of capacity, we are going to have the most difficult transaction. Because here's what's going to happen. The seller's not going to be agreeable. They're going to want to negotiate on other terms, like home inspection, on appraisal. They're going to want, it's just going to be difficult. Not just the seller, it's going to be the selling agent as well. The listing agent is going to be very difficult to work with. See, I want to get you a good deal. I want to get you a property that you love. Not just one that, let's see if we can get it for a cheaper price. Because you don't love this property, do you? It's just a nice home. And if you can get it for less, then yeah, why not?
I do like it, but I'd like to save some. I mean, why would I spend the whole 480? I mean, I got the money, but I don't want to spend all of it.
For sure.
So we can try that. I mean, if it's not the end of the world.
I 100% agree with you. And thank you for proving my point. Because I said you don't love this home, and you said, I like it. We're going to go ahead and submit this offer, okay? But like I said, I'd like you to take some time to really think about what home exactly you want, because I want to be able to work for you successfully. That's what I do. I create success. I make deals happen. But I'm not God. I can't make miracles, okay? So let's go ahead and put this offer through on this property. But next time around, let's really communicate. Let's see what happens. Maybe, hey, look, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not always right. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm always right. I'm not always right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they accept the offer. Okay? And if so, great, wonderful. We might have a difficult transaction to deal with. That's okay. I'll handle it. I told you I got your back. Okay. If it doesn't happen, let's really sit down and have a conversation about this and really fine tune and figure out what is the kind of home at the price that you want.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Cool. Those ones are tough. Generally speaking, because I was in it, I tried to just keep it going. But generally speaking, for those ones, yeah.
And I was able to get them like 48,000 off, so it was a tough deal, and but he was fixated on bringing the price down.
Those are the ones where if you still want that deal and if you still want to close it, submit the offer.
Yeah.
Because see, one thing for me, in the past I would have passed them off. I hope you guys heard that one. That's a difficult one that everybody deals with. The buyer who constantly wants to lowball offers to a seller on a listing. I used to pass them off because after a little while I used to pass them off. I'm like, man, they're just gonna want to keep doing the same thing. It's like, how long am I gonna go? But here's one thing that I learned from Waleed. Keep the buyer.
Yeah.
Just keep the buyer. Just keep the relationship. They want to submit 50,000 less. Fine. Do it. As long as they know that they got you. As long as they're not sitting here thinking like, oh, you didn't get me this house. Like, no, I didn't not get you this house. You didn't get this house because of you and because of your crazy mentality, right? Keep the buyer. Submit the offer, whatever. Takes 10 minutes to write up a contract. Not a big deal. Just do it. You know it's gonna be dead. You know the seller isn't gonna give it to you. Quite frankly, I have literally at times, because I didn't even want to deal with it, I have literally at times submitted an offer that was lowball, and I emailed the seller the details, the breakdown of my offer, as I normally do, and I tell them, hey, I know this is going to be a tough one. Completely understand if you guys don't accept. If you'd like to counter, please let me know. Whatever. I'm just like, little. Take it. Take it and do with it what you want. I don't know. And yeah, obviously they're not going to accept it. And most often they don't even counter. They're like, it's not even worth countering. 60,000 different. It's not even worth countering. What are we going to come to? 460? It's not going to happen.
And every time we drove by this house, they're like, those motherfuckers didn't accept our offer. I'm like,
Wow.
I want to add something. Like sometimes when the buyer said, this house has been on the market for 130 days, why? I said, it did not find the right buyer and you don't know the seller situation. Maybe the seller's already pay off the mortgage. Doesn't need to accept any low offer, low ball offer from any buyer. And to save myself and himself the time, if I have a buyer like that, I just text the listing agent or email him and tell him, I have a already well-qualified client. He wants to blah, blah, blah. This is the offer detail. Would you please, if you can, share it with the seller, let me know. If he, respond, we get a low offer, share it with the buyer and tell him, we're not going to waste our time to put the offer. And sometimes I respond saying, put yourself in the seller's shoes. What makes you think? If you own a house now, 500,000 and someone came and he said, I'm going to put 400,000. You going to accept that or not? And he's like, no. So I said, why you think the seller will accept that? So sometimes I don't want to say control, but sometimes you need to show them the picture and then they will agree. So you don't have to waste your time, write the offer. At least text a message to the listing agent or email will save you a lot of time to.
But sometimes
they want an actual offer, which is fine.
Yeah,
I just got one too on my listing. It was 60,000 less, and my seller to this day it was just a few days ago. Her anger is like, and I countered back, and then they said, oh well, if you're gonna go into a short sale, let us know. That's what the buyer agent told me. I didn't acknowledge. I mean, and now I have another listing coming in that building, which I know he's gonna put another offer on, and I'm a little vindictive, so I already know what I'm gonna do. Yes. But here's the thing. I also pay attention to the buyer agent and what they say. I always ask one question: how long have you been working with your client?
Good question.
And he said, oh, I've been working with them for a long time. So that tells me you continue to potentially throw out low. And I saw their proof of funds. It was like 1.5 million sitting in there with their parents helping. They came to the open house, but he said he's been working with them for a while. So that tells me that, number one, the agent doesn't respect his own time probably because he's working with somebody like this, or that they're just difficult. So they continue to throw out offers like this. And I tell my seller that. I'm like, they've been working with them for a long time. So we've got to keep that in the back of our mind, because now I'm going to remember this agent. I'm going to remember this buyer. And I know I'm going to get another offer from them. But my seller was to the point where she didn't even want to send a counter. And I said, well, you got to remember that when we go purchase, because after she sells, we're going to buy. I said, you ever send an offer like this, you see how they've pissed you off? There's no room for even countering. You're completely shutting them down, right?
There you go. And that's what happens sometimes. People don't realize and remember that when buyers do that and then they end up having to sell.
Once you piss them
and that's what happens. Other people give you the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just run through these things real quick, guys, and we'll wrap things up. But when delivering difficult news, right? 3-part formula for handling tough conversations, right? You have to have context, obviously, as to what the conversation is. Provide them with the truth and next steps. So as an example, based on today's feedback, buyers are perceiving the price above value, right? That's the truth. The strongest next step is adjusting to ... price to increase activity. Okay. Clarity builds trust, right? So don't over apologize. Don't say sorry. This is what it is. This is the market. Me personally, this is something for me, right? This isn't in real estate. This is in general. I hate apologies. I hate apologies. I don't know why you're saying I'm sorry. If you messed up, thank you. Great. Wonderful. What are you going to do to fix it? I go to a restaurant. They screw up my order. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you. But your apologies doesn't put quality food in my belly, respectfully. So what are you going to do to fix it, right? So don't apologize. People don't want your apologies. The amiables might, but nobody else really wants your apologies. They want to know, like, well, what is the solution towards it, right? Don't go with the blame games. Oh, it's because of this or it's because of that. Trump's doing crazy things. Oh, we got this war happening. Oh, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know. Nobody needs blame. You don't need long explanations. It's just simple, short and sweet. It's like, listen, we just look back. This is the amount of foot traffic that we're having online sources. These are the amount of saves that we have. These are the amount of shows that we have. But we haven't had any offers submitted. So it looks like people like the property based on what data is showing. However, they're not submitting an offer. The only thing that could lead to is, because there isn't really any other outside larger circumstances that affects real estate market right now, the only other thing would be the price. Price is just a little bit higher than what we want it to be. So keep it short and sweet, okay? All right, so remember, just lastly, just to reiterate all these things, be confident, right? Once you have that level of confidence, it will automatically transfer and convey to the people that you work with. It's all about what they can perceive and see. Utilize stories. Stories can help a lot with helping people to understand, because they can put themselves in position of the other people. And match personality styles. Don't just mirror. Mirroring is not the method and way to actually build relationships. Because if you're doing exactly what the other person is doing, that doesn't do anything for them. Like, yeah, I may look just like you. This doesn't mean anything to. This is exactly how Murph is saying right now. This doesn't do anything. When you're matching their personality, not their actions. When you're matching their personality, that's what connects. Like, oh, he gets me. She gets me. Okay. Have a structure in terms of how you're handling objections. If that one was a little bit too much, keep it simple. Simplest way that you can do so is agree, empathize, redirect. Plain and simple. Okay. Offer options in terms of their conflict, and then always regulate the emotions. Understand where these people are coming from. We're talking about a 6-figure, 7-figure, maybe sometimes 8-figure asset that these people are purchasing. It's not just the money, but it's years of memories that have gone in. It's toil, it's blood, sweat, and tears into creating this house into a home. There's a lot that goes involved. And remember, we don't know what other people are thinking. We don't know how personality works. I was talking about this with somebody previously, with Siobhan actually, because her daughter's actually becoming a therapist or psychologist. And I was like, the study of the mind is crazy. We're nowhere near understanding how all these different types of people think. So you got to remember, it is tough. You got to make a connection of the minds to make these deals happen and make these deals work. So with that, thank you guys. Really appreciate you. I think that's the last slide. There we go.
Thank you.
Done and done.
Thank you. That was very helpful.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yes.